Hello and welcome to Between the Books. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Isadora.
And in this episode, we're going to be talking about our experience at Emerald City Comic Con that we went to recently. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. It's like my favorite part of the year. We've been looking forward to this for so long and it's so fun.
And it's kind of like Christmas.
Yeah.
With the amount of free stuff that we get. Mm-hmm. Specifically, a lot of book giveaways, book signings that we went to. I'm going to be talking about all of that in this episode. But first, we're going to be talking about what I think was both of our favorite experiences at the con, which is that we cosplayed every day that we were there. You did, all of yours were like bookish related cosplays.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which I think is super fun because usually books are kind of hard to cosplay.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're reading it.
Yeah.
And so there's sometimes there is, but there's maybe not a general consensus of what, these characters officially look like or anything.
God bless the fan artists.
God bless the fan artists, yeah. But yeah, do you want to talk about the cosplays that we did?
Yeah, so the first day, our first cosplay, it was one that Shannon and I did together. And it was for the All for the Game book series, aka the Foxhole Corps. And if you listen to the first episodes of this year, you will remember that I talked about the series because I was reading some of the books. And so that's basically their uniform because they're like XC, which is the fake sport that they play that's kind of like lacrosse. That's their uniform, and they wear just neon jerseys and neon shorts, and they have like kind of like a lacrosse stick. And that's basically what we did. We just walked around like that.
Incredibly fun, by the way. We were in the con for like 0.2 seconds.
Oh my gosh. We hadn't even gotten our badges yet.
And people were like meeting us. And we met other people dressed up.
Yes.
As like characters from the series.
Yes.
Which is incredibly fun to do.
It was so fun. And it's definitely the most comfortable costume we had.
Yes, I would say yes.
So I will definitely be wearing that. And yeah, it was fun. It was cute. I feel like we both looked really good. And it was funny when people would ask, like famous authors, when we would get like our autographs signed, they'd be like, so what is this? Like, what are you wearing? And that made it really funny to have to explain what the Foxhole Court was.
And it was very popular to the point where someone came up to me at like later in the con and was like, what are you dressed as? I've been seeing it everywhere. And I want to know what you are. And I just think it's so fun because you don't know how big these fan bases are.
Yeah.
Until you go to like a con like this and they realize that so many people will just yell at you from like across the like escalator.
I remember going up an escalator and someone going down. They were like, "Foxes!" Yeah, like because it's such a niche book series. Like it's got its own like niche like group, like fandom online, but you rarely meet someone in person that's read that book. And we counted, and about 12 people / like 12 separate groups of people called out to us and like recognized us and talked to us about it, which was really fun.
Yeah. And we also got this idea because we saw a group of people dressed up as characters from
last year,
All for the Game last year, and we were like inspired. We were like, we could do that.
I know, because I had never even thought about it. And then I saw people like, oh my god, we could be us. So I think that was my favorite costume that we did.
Yeah, that's so cute. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your costume for day 2?
So on day 2, me and my partner, we dressed up as characters from Cult of the Lamb, which is like a video game. It's a 2-player, well, it can be a 2-player co-op game. So I went as the goat and she was the lamb. And that was also very cute. Very similar vibes where we ran into other people that were dressed up.
So many. I actually saw so many people dressed up like that. And it's funny because I saw them last year, but I wouldn't have known what it was. But then you guys introduced me to that.
And we got a lot of pictures with people dressed up. And
it was
that was so real
cute. And you made your costume because the Foxhole Court one, we kind of bought the separate like pieces and then we put them together. But Shannon actually made the costumes.
Yeah, because there's like they're like a lamb and a goat, so they have like horns and stuff, and they wear crowns on their heads. And it was also my first time playing with like EVA foam. It was like baby cosplayers' first time. with all this stuff. I like got out and like spray painted stuff for the first time. Incredibly fun. Yeah, what about you? What was your second day?
My second day, so I dressed up as Poppy from the book The People We Meet on Vacation, or just People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. So you might have read that book and been like, how did you cosplay her? Like, you don't, it's just a romance book. There's no discerning costumes. But if you watch the movie that came out on Netflix, which is, I personally really liked it. Not, like, I know there's probably people out there that didn't love it because obviously it's not 100% like the book, but I enjoyed it. There is a scene where they're in New Orleans and Poppy, the main character, she's got just this really fun, pretty outfit on. And as she walks around during the day, and then at night she puts this blue wig on, and there's just this really cute scene. And I loved that outfit. And I was like, I wish I could just wear that. And her makeup was all glittery and stuff. And I was like, I wish I could just wear that. And I was like, I'm going to a place soon where I could just dress up as whatever I want. So I actually managed to like scavenge the internet. I went to like thrift stores and stuff, and I was able to get not the exact pieces, of course, but very similar pieces. And I thought that looked really fun. No one recognized me at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's fine because I was doing it for me. People did compliment me. Like a lot of people liked my outfit or my wig and stuff, and they liked other people liked all my glitter makeup. But no one knew who I was. If maybe they actually, I remember I pitched the movie to this girl in the bathroom. She wrote it down because she was like, "You look so cool," and I told her about the book and the movie, and she's like, "I'm writing it down. I really want to see it."
Oh.
So I'm getting some fans. But that was really fun. I did wear heels, which was crazy. Actually, the heels that I bought weren't super uncomfortable, so I did manage to walk around, but I did bring an extra pair of shoes, and I kept like switching them throughout the day. And then what did you do for your third day? Or what did we do for the third day?
So this was our big, like, we went with like 2 other people. So this was like our big group costume, which is that we went as characters from the Locked Tomb trilogy. However long it's going to be. Locked Tomb series. Yeah. By Tamsin Muir. They have very like distinctive characters, I think.
Yeah.
And I went as Harrow Hart and you went as Ianthe.
Yes.
I think that one was super fun to do. Mm-hmm. I will say our friend who dressed up as Gideon was the one who got recognized the most.
So much. Because our friend like dyed her hair orange too, and she had the sunglasses, and both her and Shannon had the makeup on.
Yes.
So that was really, you guys were celebrities. No one could recognize me, but whenever you guys would get complimented, you guys would turn and be like, she's dressed as Ianthe, and they're like, oh, cool. But no one would know who I was by myself.
Yeah, no. But it was also my first time doing face paint and stuff, and it wasn't as awful as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting. I'm just excited to have all these new skills now, so I can maybe do more complex stuff. I have ideas.
We'll level up next year.
I have ideas in my head. But it was just really fun just to dress up every day. I rewore my Foxhole Court one on the last day.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to dress up again. Like, I didn't have a new one, but I was just like, oh, it was just so much fun to dress up again. I just wanted to rewear it.
Yeah, I have a Spider-Man costume that I've worn in the past for like Halloween. And I did wear it for the last day, but oh my God, wearing spandex is so uncomfortable. It's like you're walking and you're like, I'm uncomfortable. People can see like every shape of me right now. And it's just like, it feels a little weird, although it is also really cool. Like, I do feel like cool as well. Obviously people knew who I was, so no one was like, oh my God, Spider-Man. Like, no one was, actually, no, I was sitting at one point just on my phone, like resting, and this little girl passed by me. She was dressed as Spider-Man with her parents, and she was like looking at me, and I think she pointed me out to her mom, and then her mom was like, yeah, she's Spider-Man. And then I was like, wait, are you a Spider-Man as well? And she got shy and walked away. Oh. But her parents were like, oh, so cool. So like I had an interaction with a small child. But that was fun. But it was funny because I was I also brought my Foxhole Court outfit to switch out because I knew I was going to be uncomfortable. But I was carrying my racket around, and there was a point when I was meeting an author to get something signed, and they were like, first question was like, so what version of Spider-Man plays lacrosse? And I was like, well, the version that I created this morning. But that was fun, yeah. So I love dressing up. I'm excited for next year. We've been chatting about what we could do next year.
Potential ideas.
So that would be really fun.
So if you take anything out of this segment, I would say if you are going to like a convention, dress up. It's like so fun.
Yeah, and it does not have to be
good.
Like, it does not have to be like super intense, crazy good. You don't have to be super talented in like sewing and making things. Like, every costume is so cool in its own way and so original, and people will compliment you anyway. Like, Like,
Yes.
there's like people will love your costume, especially if it is like a more of a niche thing or like a specific, not just niche, but like a specific fandom that people are like really into. They will be very excited. Like,
Yeah.
Like if you dress up as Spider-Man, people might not care as much because there's something. But when you dress up as the Foxhole Corps, people are really excited because it's not something you would see. You might expect to see.
And it's just immediate talking point where it's
Yes.
like, oh, yes, a thing that you also enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I was also talking to this girl in line and she loved my costume for Foxhole Court. She had no idea what it was. And I was like, wait, you've read the book? She's like, no. And I pitched it to her. And then she was dressed up as Gino from K-pop Demon Hunters. And I was like, wait, do you have a roomie with you? And she was like, yeah, my husband is dressed up as roomie. And I'm like, oh, damn, I wish he was here. I want to see that.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so that was our experience dressing up. And of course, the whole con was so fun. We did so many crazy things. But the funnest, for me at least, was getting all the books.
Yes.
And we did already bring books from home to meet specific authors that we wanted to get signings for. So I think we're going to go through them now. One of the authors that I was very excited to meet was Marie Lu, because to be honest, I have not read much from Marie Lu apart from her Legend series, but I remember really liking it. It's been over 10 years probably since I read it. I think you read it too, right?
I've also read Legend, yeah.
I think we read it together in book club in high school.
Wow.
Possibly. I might be making that up. I actually do not know. But me and one of our friends went to her panel, and that was probably one of my favorite book panels I've ever seen. Like, I thought she was so well spoken. She was so nice. And she made me want to read like every book that she's ever written. Like, I really liked her personality. And we had a fantastic moderator. He was so good. And he made the conversation so engaging. And he brought up so many different, because she's written so many different types of books and genres and everything. And he was able to get her to talk about all that. And the questions from the audience were always very good. So that was my favorite part, I think my favorite author panel the whole time. And yeah, and then I went to get her to sign my copy of Legend, which was fun. And she complimented my glittery makeup. And then I wish I could tell you what Legend is about, but again, it has been 10 years. I wish
I could tell you what Legend was about.
No, it's a dystopian, and I believe, if I remember correctly, the main two characters, the girl was more in the part of the government, or she's like the daughter of someone in the military, I believe, and her name's Juliet, and then the guy's Day, and he is kind of a rebel, and their lives get entangled, and then I think there's probably some sort of rebellion.
Do you remember reading the full series?
I read all 3 books, yeah.
I think I only read the first one.
The ending of the 3rd one is crazy. Actually, makes me really upset.
Oh.
I will tell you later. If you know, you know. I do not love that. But yeah, that was me meeting Marie Lu. Shannon, tell me about one of the authors you met.
So the author that I was excited to see was Tara Sim. Mm-hmm. I read the Timekeeper series that she wrote. There's a trilogy. And I really liked those books. They're young adult books. They really read young adult. Yeah. But I read them like 6 years ago at this point, and I really liked them because they're just kind of up my alley. They like take place in like steampunk like London, where like they have these like clock towers in like major cities that will like control time if they like go haywire and stuff. And it's about a boy who goes to fix a clock, and he falls in love with the spirit of the clock. It's kind of crazy concept. But that's the kind of stuff I love.
Does the clock speak?
The clock is like
is it the clock like has a physical human body?
Like, if I remember right, it's more like an apparition. Like the clock can manifest as like a boy, but they definitely touch and do more than touch.
Oh wait, is it a gay book?
Yeah, it's a gay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's actually fun because I got to talk to Tara Sim about that, because the book was originally published in like 2016. And like, okay, so that was like 10 years ago, but there wasn't a lot of like it's like the main romance in the book. Like, it's about those two. There's the two main
fantasy,
characters.
I would say. Like, sometimes you would see some contemporaries with main gay characters, but not really fantasy.
At that time when it was published, she at least told me that was very hard to pitch it.
Yeah.
Because the publishers didn't know what to do with it. I got her to sign City of Dusk, which is her adult, like, epic fantasy series that I finished recently. Here's my review. It's okay. It's okay. I don't really wanted to love it so much.
Yeah.
And I think there are aspects of it that I enjoy. I just don't know if I'll read the rest of the series. And that makes me kind of sad because I really love that interaction I had with her.
Would you say that, because I haven't seen the rest of the series, but I've seen the copy of City of Dusk, and it's pretty big. Do you think that puts you off?
No, I mean, not necessarily. Like, I'm okay with longer books.
I think, like, when you don't like a book, like, or you're not, like, super a huge fan, like, knowing that the next book will probably be big.
Yeah. And it's just, like, I don't think it needed to be that long, first off. I think it could have been tighter. I think there was there was some interesting plot elements, but it was very slowly paced, which also made it just feel like it took longer to get through, and it was already so long. And there's gonna be like 3 more books, and I was like, I don't know if I could devote that much time to like this, but maybe you'll like it. Maybe you should read it, because I think there is something in it.
Yeah, no, I asked that because, like, I feel like that sometimes there are books that I read and I'm like, it's like a 3 stars. It's like, whatever. I wouldn't call necessarily this book that, but like in a way, The Bear and the Nightingale that we just read. And I'm like, oh, I liked it. Like, and the next book is not very long. So like, I'm like, I wouldn't mind reading the next one. Like, I'm intrigued. But there's this book called, like, for example, Jade City. I don't know if you've seen it.
Actually, yes.
I liked it, but like, again, it was like a 3.5. It wasn't anything crazy. But then that book was so long. And then the second book is so long that, like, to get me to read the second book in the series that is that big, like, I actually have to really like the first book.
You know what? That's me with Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Okay.
This is my hot take. I thought Dungeon Crawler Carl was fine.
Yeah.
Like, it was okay. But there's 8 books in that series. I'm not reading all of those.
Yeah. Did you not want, because he was there, right? Did you not want to bring your book to get signed?
I don't own the book.
Oh, you don't own the book.
Yeah, I read it from the library, I think. And I'm happy I didn't.
Yeah,
mostly because that line was crazy. He doesn't need my sales. He's doing fine.
Yeah.
What about you? What other authors did you meet?
So I met Patrick Ness, who has written a lot of books, but the ones that I've read from him is I've read which is what I brought to get signed, was The Knife of Never Letting Go, which is the first book on a 3-book series, the Chaos Walking trilogy. And I read that 10 years ago, and I really liked it. And it's so different from anything I've ever read. It's a Western sci-fi book, and it takes place in, like, I can't remember what planet it is, but it's a different planet, but it does feel like it's a Western. It's just a Western, but it's in a different planet. But in this world, there's only men, and they can hear each other's thoughts. And then suddenly one day, this girl shows up from a ship. Like, a ship crashes into the planet, and this girl shows up, and the main character, like, meets her. And for some reason, I can't remember what he did, but I think he was being, like, sent away from his community. I think there's like, it's a community being run by men. Of course, there's like some crazy problematic shit going on. So I forget exactly what was happening, but he gets kind of like sent away, and then he meets this girl, and there's the whole thing. But I always thought it was really interesting, and I really want to reread it again. But I got that signed, and then I also got A Monster Calls signed, which he's got this illustrated book that I read around the same, like, right before that. And I really liked that one as well. That one deals with, like, this boy whose mom is really sick and close to passing away. And he starts seeing this vision of this, like, big monster. And he just starts, I forget exactly how it goes, but he just kind of, like, talks to him and, like, gives him advice. But he's also kind of scary. But it's basically just, like, his fears being put into, like, a monster. But it's really good, and I think it's really nice. And I talked to him about it, and he was really sweet, and it was great meeting him. So I'm really glad I did that. And how about you? What's your next author?
The next author I met is Heather Fawcett. So we met her last year as well. I got her to sign all 3 copies of Emily Wilde's, or not all 3 copies of Emily Wilde, all 3 books, the Emily Wilde series, which I've read all of them, which I really enjoyed. We ended up reading the first one for book club. I went on to read the rest of the series. I actually think the series gets better, which is actually crazy, because we went to our panel, and then she said, oh, I didn't plan for it to be a series.
I know, yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's actually kind of crazy, because I think it works really well as a series. I actually truly do think so. And I think it helps that a lot of Emily's adventures do feel episodic, but I do feel like there's like an overarching series plot in it. And I think they just are well done. So I would recommend that series. I was in line this year for my sister because she wanted to get her book signed. And then while I was waiting in line, I was like, this book looks really good. I could buy it. And the thing that tipped me over into it is that, so the book is Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter.
Yeah.
It takes place in Montreal. Did you know that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. And it's about a girl who runs like this cat shelter. And I don't know the exact details, but she has to team up with like this magician to like solve the cat shelter's problems. Again, like a cozy fantasy kind of thing. But the cats in the book are based off of Heather Fawcett's cats in real life. And she has a cat named Artemis, and I have a cat named Artemis. So I bought the book in line.
The character's not named Artemis, though, right?
No, the characters aren't named Artemis. But I did get her to sign the book to Artemis.
That's
so it's
cute.
made out to my cat. And I think I'm really excited to read it. And she's very lovely. Yeah. This is my second time meeting her. She's very lovely.
Yeah, I met her last year.
Yeah, what about you?
Okay, so next author that I met was Senlin Yu.
This one's exciting.
Who wrote Alchemized, which you guys know because I talked about it at length through a bunch of episodes, I feel like. But if you don't know, Alchemized, it was originally a fanfic called Manacled, which used to be a Hermione / which is Draco and Hermione from Harry Potter / The Handmaid's Tale fanfic. And it's really dark, but it's so big, but it's so well written and it's really, really good. And she published it as a traditional, or as like an original traditional work last year. So she was here this year. So that's the only book she had. So it's funny because a lot of people even had copies of the fanfic to get signed. Because like you can buy it on Etsy. Like people make like cute, like pretty bound up copies. I don't know how legal that is, but I don't think there's legality at all because that is a fanfic. So I don't know how if she has any rights. I don't know how it works. But yeah, people had that brought up. But I asked her a question. I asked her about how long after, like if she had started thinking about the story for the book right after she finished the fanfic. Because she finished the fanfic in like 2019 and the book I think only got picked up in 2024. So I asked her if how long after she started thinking about it, and she said that not really. She didn't think about it right away. Like she didn't want to assume that was a possibility. She didn't want to like waste time rewriting something that might not even happen. So it kind of was more later when it got more popular and the book deal was like on the horizon. But I did go to her panel, which was interesting. I did not like the moderator. I don't think the questions were good at all. And it was weird because I think maybe there's some sort of rule out there, but she didn't really mention the fanfic and they were kind of answering the questions around it. And it was like, there's a better, more interesting way of doing it, which is mentioning how you wrote it in the first place. Because she was kind of acting as if that was her first time writing it was on the novel, which was not true. So it was like, how did you come up with these characters? And I'm like, how did you come with their rivalry and stuff? And we're like, well, no, this is Draco and Hermione. Like, that's how it was originally. And then she changed it. But I know that it can be like an awkward subject, perhaps, to talk about. I don't know. It's different. And I think people don't really know how to bring it up after like it's been turned into a book. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't love the panel, but she was really nice. And yeah, that was, and the Alchemized, I guess I already talked about it. It just, in the Alchemized and Not Manacled, it basically follows these two characters. One of them is part of this big rebellion, and the other one is more on the enemy lines. In this world, there's necromancy, and the necromancers are kind of taking over and being like the bad people taking over everything. And our main character, Helena, becomes a spy for the rebellion, and she has to meet up with Farron, who is the guy with the necromancers who become a spy as well. So they have to meet up, but the war is awful and they're all having a terrible time, but it's really well written and it's very long and I recommend. Shannon, tell me about your next one.
This one I'll be quick about because I actually have not read this series yet. I'm really excited to, but I haven't read it yet. Which is that we met Robin Hobb.
Oh yeah.
Who's written a ton of books. But the book series that I'm excited to read is the Farseer trilogy, the first one being The Assassin's Apprentice. I, again, bought this book just so I could get it signed by Robin Hobb. I'm excited to read it, though. It's a very classic fantasy series. It was written in the 90s. So it's about a boy who has a magical link with animals, who ends up being adopted into the royal household and is trained to become an apprentice. That's all I know about it. But I know that's a really beloved classic epic fantasy series. I'm really excited to get into it and read older fantasy.
So another really exciting author that I met was Julia Quinn, who wrote the Bridgerton books.
You met so many classic authors. You met so many crazy ones.
I know. So that was really cool. So she obviously wrote the Bridgerton books. I'm more familiar with the TV show. I've only read the first Bridgerton book, which I read right before going, which is The Duke and I. So I ended up buying the second book, The Viscount Who Loved Me, as well, which is the same as the season 2 of the TV show. And I got those signed. It was really exciting. And I went to her panel, and it was interesting. I think it was interesting. A lot of people had a lot of questions about the TV show, which she did say that she talked about the show. She loves the TV show, and she talked a lot about it, which was nice. But she doesn't she doesn't do anything with TV show. I think she does have consultation rights or whatever it's called, but she said that she trusts them pretty well. So she actually is not the one writing the script or doing anything with that. So I've yet to read the other books, so I have to see more of a difference. But I did like the first one, which as a lot of people know, it follows the Bridgerton family. There's 8 siblings, and each book in the series follows one of the siblings and their romance. And the first one follows Daphne, who's the 4th child. They're all named A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So Daphne's the 4th child, and she ends up kind of falling in love, but also with the Duke. She ends up falling in love with the Duke, but then it also gets a little messy, and there's some kind of fake dating almost scenarios and stuff like that, but in Regency era, because this is back in the 1800s or whatever it is. It's just cute. I like the vibes. I've rarely, if ever, have read a Regency book, and Julia Quinn was talking about actually she's starting a book subscription box where she did I tell you that?
No.
Oh, she's starting it, and she's on Kickstarter right now, but she is basically selecting good Regency novels, because she was one of the things she mentioned is that she expected after Bridgerton got so big that the genre would get bigger and more books in the genre would start doing well. But she was actually my books are really well, but I don't see a lot of Regency books getting into the spotlight. So she's gonna start this book subscription box where she is gonna select, I think, 3 Regency novels, and she I don't know who she works with, but she's gonna make them special editions of them.
Wow.
So that she can send, and it will have little fun little things in it and stuff, and then I don't know if it's monthly or whatever, but I thought it was really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Anyways, and then I guess the last one is one that I met, but Shannon's partner was with me. So Shannon was not there, but Shannon's partner also got a book signed, and that was Caitlin Starling.
Yeah.
Which, if you want to talk a little bit about the book, because you read it first.
I did read The Starving Saints last year, and it takes place in generic medieval fantasy kind of place, and it's in a castle that's under siege by their enemy, and they've been at war for so long, and at this point the enemy is just waiting for everyone in the castle to die of starvation. And it's been months and months, and there's a mad woman who they have, who the king is relying upon to solve their hunger crisis.
Yeah, come up with a miracle.
Come up with a miracle and get the food working. And she's I cannot do that. But I guess I'll try because... Yeah. And as she's working on it, mysterious outsiders who come sort of in the facade of the saints in their religion show up to the castle and come with food and drink. And everyone's hell yeah, we're saved by our deities have come to save us. And the mad woman, Focine, is okay, no, something's fishy here. Yeah. And so she teams up with a knight and also a serving girl who in the castle to try to figure out what's actually going on and who these outsiders actually are.
Yeah. We won't go into too much detail about our thoughts because we're actually going to do a whole episode about it because I'm almost done reading it as well. So stay tuned for that.
But it was really exciting meeting Caitlin Starling because we actually got a pin.
Oh, yeah.
Based off of the book. I also forgot to say I also got free stuff from Tara Sim, which is really cool because you got stuff from the author. I think that's really cool. But yeah, we got a pin based off of the Starving Saints from her.
So cute.
Which is so cute.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm trying to remember my interaction with her. I did recommend her the TV show The Decameron, which I don't know if anyone has seen it. It's not necessarily like this at all, but it does take place during medieval times, during the plague, and it's a bunch of people kind of stuck together in this kind of like castle / manor, and they're all going a little crazy because I can't remember exactly if they're running out of food, but they're also like they can't leave, and they're like, and I think there's weird outsiders that come in, and there's a whole thing, and I recommended that to her. I think she knew about it, but she just hadn't like fully watched it. So, but that was fun. And then your partner also got a different book signed by her.
Ended up buying a book again, just because this one sounded really cool. So we bought The Graceview Patient. We haven't read this one by her, but I'm excited to. It's about a girl with a terminal illness who ends up going to this hospital for free, basically and the only thing is that, you know, she was going to get tested on at this hospital. And then she starts having, like, as far as I know, like delusions in the hospital and like trying to figure out like what's real and what's not. So kind of reminds me of Starving Saints. Yeah. And I love that kind of vibe. Yeah. All these books are like horror books, by the way, that she writes. She writes horror.
But at least the Starving Saints are not necessarily scary. It's just like horror imagery.
No, the other book that I haven't read, but my partner's read is The Death of Jane Lawrence. And that one I think is also more like medical horror, which also feels like that's what The Graceview Patient is.
Yeah.
But Starving Saints is horror, but it's like, I don't know, how would you describe it?
It's kind of like gory.
Yeah.
It's more like horror visuals than necessarily like something that makes you scared. You're just more like, wow, this is horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all of the authors that we kind of went to see and stood in line for, and necessarily like that we brought books for or bought books necessarily for that. But we also got a lot of free books, as mentioned before.
We got a ton of books.
We got so many books. Carrying those books in our backpacks truly it's the like worst part about the con because there are so many cool things to buy, and then
your backpack is full.
Your backpack is full. You're wearing heels and a fucking wig, and you're wearing spandex and you're uncomfortable and you're carrying a bunch of books, but
you're having tons of fun. You're
having so much fun, and you're so grateful that you got so many free books. So honestly, it's like there's like the cons, but they don't outweigh the pros at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we're basically gonna do is we're gonna just quickly tell you guys about the books we got, like give you a brief synopsis. We obviously haven't really read any of these, so we just want to, tell you what they are, recommended. A lot of them are ARCs, which are advanced reader's copy, so that means they haven't been released yet. And so if you guys listen to any of these synopses and you are interested in hearing our thoughts, interested in hearing about them before they even come out, let us know, because we're definitely planning on doing episodes on some of these ARCs. So it would be great to know which ones are piquing your interest. So we're actually going to start with the ones that have already been released. So they were just people giving them away, authors there signing them. So if you are interested, it's already out. So the first one that I picked up was called Servant of the Earth by Sarah Hawley. And the synopsis is: a young human woman trapped as a servant in the fairies' underground kingdom is forced to help her mistress undertake 6 deadly trials. If they succeed, the mistress will gain immortality and become the heir. If they lose, the punishment is death. I'm intrigued, and something fun is that I met Sarah Hawley last year. I got her one of her other books, which is more of a rom-com fantasy, which was A Good Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. I want to say is what it's called.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so I haven't read it yet, but I did get it. But I remember in the panel last year, she mentioned Servant of Earth because she was saying that it was a book that she was one of her first books, and she tried getting it sold and it just did not sell, so she had to put it away, like put it aside, I mean. Eventually, when she had other books out, she brought it back and like brought it back to her editor and her agent, and she ended up getting it published, which is really interesting. And I think it's because it's a fairy book, so I think once the fairy, you know, the big like trend with fairy books came out, I'm sure that kind of helped her get that out. So that's interesting, and this sounds really intriguing.
So one of the books that we also got was Hide by Kirsten White. A young woman joins a challenge to spend a week hiding in an abandoned amusement park without getting caught. But as people around her begin to disappear, she realizes that this competition is more dangerous than she thought. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a horror book, which I never read. I mean, apart from Starving Saints, which we just talked about, but it seems like a different style of horror book that I haven't read.
This is the same author as The Fox and the Devil, yes?
Yes.
So that's interesting.
Yes.
Because, okay, so that's a book that I'm interested in reading that came out very recently by her, but that's definitely like a fantasy book.
Yeah. She also wrote some other popular books that I almost like bought to get signed and I ended up not getting it. But she wrote paranormal romances and like just paranormal books. I think that's like one of her big things. She wrote, this was also a big one back in 2018. I remember BookTube, everyone was reading it. The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I've not heard of that.
Yeah, that's the one that I think reminds me of her whenever I heard her name, but I haven't read that one either. Yeah. Let me read another one that we got. So this one's also out. It's called Songbird of the Sorrows by Brady Otto. An outcast princess turned spy embarks on a mission to infiltrate a rival kingdom, and the secrets she uncovers force her to question what she believes in and what she's willing to risk. A fantasy book, you know. That doesn't say much.
This book looks really pretty, though. It looks
so pretty. It's got like deckled edges and everything. Is that what it's called? Sprayed edges.
Sprayed edges.
Sprayed edges. Another giveaway book that we did get is called, or I got, Shannon didn't get this one. It's called Silver Elite by Danny Francis. A rebel with psychic abilities living in a world where being modifies means certain death is forced to join the enemy elite training program and plans to use the opportunity to strike from inside the ranks. So a lot of spies. I feel like the previous one that I just said was also about spies.
Wow.
Lots of spies. But yeah, I think those were the ones that we got as giveaways that have already been published. But let's move on to the arcs.
Yeah. So the first one, it's coming out April 7th, is Strixhaven, Omens of Chaos by Shauna Maguire. I've actually read a lot of Shauna Maguire books. And this book is a Magic the Gathering book. Eula Blue was supposed to be a mage. That was before the war came. Before the fight for the multiverse devastated Eula's home. And with it, her hopes for a magical education. But the destruction of the war also brought something new. The ability to travel to other planes. And when Eula receives an invitation to study magic at a distant school called Strixhaven, she leaps to take it. So this is just like I don't want to say dark academia, but just academia book that takes place at Strixhaven. The only thing I know about Strixhaven is actually from Dungeons and Dragons, but it's Magic the Gathering, so it's like sort of similar.
Did you, and you met her, right?
I did. I've met Shannon Maguire multiple times actually at this point. She's very nice. She also gave us a pin, actually.
Yeah. Oh,
so she also gave us merch, which was really fun.
She's really good. I've read some of her books, but I really like the Every Heart a Doorway.
Yeah.
And the, what's that one called? Like the Wayward Children series.
Yeah, the Wayward Children series.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that one. So one of the arcs that I got was The Winged Game by Sophie Kim. That's coming out in June 30th. Two-star players of the fictitious game, Carrie Witchett, begrudgingly work together despite their rivalry and have to fake a relationship for the gossip-hungry media and their teammates. So, which is not what I expected at all from like
the cover
and stuff. It's a huge book too, but yeah, I guess it's just a fake dating sports romance, which is very exciting to me.
So the next one, very exciting for this podcast, by the way, is The Unicorn Hunters, which is Catherine Arden's newest book coming out June 2nd. Anne of Brittany was a child when her realm was invaded, her home besieged, and her royal father driven to his death. Now, her treasury is empty, her land occupied by her enemies, and she's ordered under threat of renewed war to become queen of her conquerors and marry the King of France. But when against all hope, a unicorn appears, and a stranger out of legend stumbles from the trees and falls at her feet. Anne is plunged into a world of enchantment, where a doomed sovereign might find the power to change her own and her country's destiny.
Ooh.
It sounds very different
I
from
know.
the Winter Night trilogy. Yeah. So I'm excited to read it.
I know, and the cover's really pretty. And it was funny because we had to go up to like the people in the Penguin Random House booth, and we had to say, "I'm looking for the unicorn hunt."
Yeah.
Which is funny. And then they were like, "Oh, gotcha." And then they bring out the book.
It was very fun.
I know. Okay, so another one that I got was actually this is by two authors, although the name is just says SD Coverley, but there were two authors there when I got them signed. They were the ones that asked about my lacrosse Spider-Man costume. But this book is called The Arcane Arts, and it's coming out May 19th. A student dedicated to the study of magic joins her advisor in practicing forbidden magic that allows them to control a person's mind and body. Soon, the temptation of using it on each other proves impossible to resist. I think it's kind of like... Also, I was reading the synopsis. It also said it was kind of like a romance, like lustful thing. So I don't know how they're going to use their powers on each other, but I am intrigued. I am intrigued. I think that's really interesting. Just like them, because there's so much to it. There's like the power play, manipulating someone's mind and body lustfully. I am intrigued. And the cover's really pretty. So tell me another one.
So the next one we've got is Wildflower by Becky Jenkinson. This one's coming out June 16th. Cursed from birth to always tell the truth, magical florist Felicity Fliss Farrow chooses her words carefully to avoid trouble. As a royal wedding approaches, Fliss fears the flowers she's delivered are intended for sinister purpose. But when her warnings are ignored, she teams up with an outcast sorcerer to save the kingdom from disaster, and ultimately discover what Fliss has sought for so long. The truth. I don't know what the tone of the book is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the writing style. But the person at the booth pitched it as, like, Ella Enchanted. And I love the Ella Enchanted movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
I love that movie so much. So if it's anything like that, I think I'll like this book.
Cute. Okay. Yeah, and the cover's cute. Like, I think it'll be a cute time. Okay, another one that I got was My Dear You by Rachel Kong, and that's coming out April 7th. A short story collection taking place in a world where the US government injects all its citizens with a drug that makes them see everyone else as members of their own race and gender. Playful, profane, and yet enveloped with profound compassion for life, it follows different characters as they navigate love, living, and dying.
Interesting.
I know.
A short story collection.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until today. But I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
So this one is a horror book that we picked up. Slasher Summer by E.L. Chen. This is out June 23rd. The sleepy town of Cedar Lake Falls is best known as the shooting location of the campy 80s horror flick, Slasher. Years after high school, a group of friends reunite at the remote cabin where Slasher was filmed. But when night falls and a masked killer is spotted, the reunion takes a deadly turn. The friends discover their tires deflated and the phone line disconnected, and soon they're being stalked by a mysterious assailant. Is someone trying to make their slasher experience as authentic as possible?
Cute.
I think that one could be super fun to read.
Yeah.
Have we done horror? I mean, we're going to.
No.
I want to get
on a romance podcast? No, just kidding.
Not on our romance podcast, but no, I think horror is something I want to definitely get more into.
Yeah, I think the closest we did is Barrier Bones, which I'm not going to say so we don't talk about that book.
But yeah, so I'm excited to read this one.
My last one that I got is called Aphrodite in Pieces by Lauren J.A. Baer, and that's coming out April 21st. The goddess Aphrodite requests a sculptor to hear her story, see her as who she truly is, and carve it into stone. She shares her greatest triumphs, most grievous mistakes, and one epic romance that slips through her fingers time and time again. I'm intrigued.
All these books are just
all of them are intriguing.
Yeah.
The thing is that there's so many. They're like, when am I ever going to read all these books? I got like 14 free books in this place, guys. That's too much for me. I mean, it's not too much for me, but I have so many other books to read.
Another one that I picked up, The Inn at the Foot of Mount Vengeance by Kiara Boulin. Ainsworth, an ambitious young scholar, is sent to a rustic inn at the foot of the legendary Mount Vengeance to be the first person to document the exploits of bold adventurers who face the perils of the mountain and the dragon within it. When Ainsworth cannot find any evidence that anyone has actually climbed up the mountain, He is determined to solve the mysteries of the mountain, even if he has to push the adventurers up the mountain himself.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a cozy fantasy kind of book. It's more about this like rustic inn that this character finds himself in.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got that book. I'm not a huge cozy fantasy person, but we'll see.
We'll see.
So another one that we got is The Feywild Job by C.L. Polk, and that's coming out June 30th. Syldian prefers their no-strings-attached life as a con artist, pulling off heists and leaving a trail of broken hearts behind them. When a grift goes horribly wrong, they catch the eye of a mysterious patron with a job offer they can't refuse. A simple job until they learn their ex-partner, Kel, a charming bard, is part of the team. Forced to work together, Syldian and Kel rekindle their chemistry. However, they realize the gem they were meant to steal is more than just a pretty trinket, and that their simple heist has summoned powerful enemies.
This is another like D&D, like the author was like contracted to write a book in like the D&D verse, like Tusk Love.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to read this one.
Yeah.
I also like the Feywild as a setting, so I'm excited. Last one?
Yeah.
Last one. This one I'm probably the most excited for, which is Fishbone Cinderella.
I didn't get that one. I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
You can read mine. You can read mine.
Yours.
Fishbone Cinderella by Elizabeth Lim. So the reason, oh my god, maybe I'll say this. The reason we got different books is that they have like a quiz that you could go up and do.
The book oracle.
Which is why some of these books, I got, and some of the books that you got, we didn't get the same books. But that's always really fun.
Yeah, we did that oracle like every day, and I was trying to change my, because it's kind of like a little personality test, but it's crazy questions, and I was trying so hard to like make it so that I could get the same answers to get this one, but I just didn't get it. I kept getting other ones, which I like my other ones, but I wanted this one.
So yeah, Fishbone Cinderella by Elizabeth Lim, out July 28th. This is the same author as Six Crimson Cranes. I haven't read that one, but I've heard good things about it. After World War II, Ha Yut Ying is sent to live with her father and his second wife, who have become wealthy factory owners in Hong Kong. Her stepmother, jealous of her beauty, forces her to work in the family shoe factory. But when Yut Ying collides with a boy on a bicycle on her way to work, she loses her golden bracelet, gifted to her from her mother, that grants her protection. The boy is Tommy Young, scion of a local soy milk tycoon, and their encounter will change both of their destinies forever.
Aww.
So yeah, sounds like some sort of Cinderella retelling taking place in East Asia. Very exciting.
Yeah, and the cover's so pretty.
So yeah, that was all the books that we got. A crazy number. But we're really excited. It does feel like a second Christmas every time we go.
I never get that many books at once. This is also the most amount of books I've gotten at Comic-Con, and this is my third year, so next year we're going past 14.
I hope we aren't.
But yeah, that is it. If you have any questions, if you're curious about anything else about our time at Comic-Con, let us know. We have so many stories to tell, so reach out at betweenthebookspod@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. You can leave us a review. You can leave us a little comment. That would be really fun. And yeah, let us know which of these books sound most intriguing to you. Which ones do you want to read? Which ones do you want to hear us talk about? And we'll definitely make sure that we share our thoughts on this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. But we'll see you next time for when we read The Starving Saints. Bye!